very masculine pose. Hey, what's up you guys? Shartimus Prime here doing another Marvel Select figure review on the Disney Store exclusive Superior Spider-Man. This review is brought to you by MarvelousNews.com. Check them out for a full photo gallery of images of this figure and of course the latest in Marvel related news. If you can't find this figure at your local Disney store, you can find it at Big Bad Toy Store.
Big! Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
So we have a pretty standard packaging here from Diamond Select Toys, Superior Spider-Man. We get a picture of the Superior Spider-Man with his eyes that look a lot bigger than they do on the figure over here. So far, I don't know how impressed I really am with it, but here's another picture of Superior Spider-Man. And then we have this long bio on Superior Spider-Man, which is actually very interesting. I like the Superior Spider-Man, so you can pause that if you want to read it. There's a picture of the figure. We get a picture of some Disney characters right over here, this Disney Store authenticity thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and crack this thing open. So here's Superior Spider-Man out of packaging on his base, which looks really cool. Let's get a 360 of the figure on the base and everything, which is looking pretty alright. I don't know. Let's take a closer look at the base itself, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. So like all Marvel Select bases, this is very well sculpted, a lot of detail in it, and I really like that they've added characters to the base. We have Speed Demon over here, looking all defeated, and I believe this setup is from Superior Spider-Man versus Sinister Six, because these are the Sinister Six characters. We have Speed Demon, of course there's Boomerangs all stuck around here. We have the Living Brain, which is an old school Spider-Man villain, I think from Amazing Spider-Man issue number 7 or 8 or something like that, ridiculous. And then we have the new Beetle right here, the female Beetle, and this is her helmet mask thing, so this is chilling over here. I believe it's her helmet. I haven't read this particular issue, but I did look it up, and the costume is accurate to when this issue did come out. Just want to get a tight shot of all the paint detail in here, like on the concrete and rocks on this. Just looks beautiful, and Speed Demon looks great. Nice flesh tone and dirt right there on the face and throughout the body of the character. Here's an overhead view of the base, and you can see it does have pegs sticking out right over there. And as a side note, it is pretty hollow underneath here. So here's Superior Spider-Man's head sculpt, and I personally think it just looks okay. I'm not really happy with it, I can't lie. I think the eyes are too far apart from each other. I don't think the eyes are sculpted big enough. I felt like they could have done a little bit more. You could see that this is just rounded off and painted right over here. It looks like there should be more lines going to the outside part of the eye sockets, and it's not doing that. Those lines are just painted on inside the eyes. Now as far as all the webbing goes on the suit, that's all sculpted in there as well as painted. And I kind of have a gripe with that as well, because when you look at the webbing, it comes to this weird target on the back of his head, and I don't really like that at all. As far as the muscle definition goes on the rest of the figure, I think it looks pretty good. The spider is sculpted on there, the pecs, muscles all look pretty nice. He does have this ab crunch over here that doesn't really work too well. I'll get into that articulation later. On his right hand, he has this web grabbing thing going on over here, and he doesn't come with any webs, but you have that position on this hand. One thing that kind of bothers me with this though is that there's this extra piece of plastic hanging over here on his wrist, and it kind of ruins the articulation a little bit. Not too bad, but when you try to turn this side to side, I feel like I'm going to break something. And then on the left hand, we have this whipping pose. Now, some people may or may not know that the Superior Spider-Man has gone through some adaptations. This is a very early representation of Superior Spider-Man where he did not have the gauntlets on his wrists, nor did he have the backpack with the Iron Spider-like legs that would come out of there. So this is a very early version of it, and I looked at that issue, the Superior Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six, and he did have this costume. So it is accurate to that particular issue. The average person wouldn't tell that anything happened to Spider-Man. Nothing really changed except for his eye sockets. And of course, they did change it with this big toe thing going on here. That's pretty accurate too. And the figure does have peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Spider ting. Then here we are looking at the back of the figure. I feel like this isn't black, but it's a midnight blue. I could just be looking at black over here. But now the articulation on this figure is far from superior. I'm not really happy with it. The head moves up just a little bit. Barely at all. Moves down quite a bit. Moves side to side. Guess we get a little bit of a neck pivot over here. His shoulders move outward that much. They can move forward. He does have a bicep swivel. Elbows move in that much. The wrists do move side to side, down and up. Like I had mentioned, just on this side it gets a little hindered. He does have an ab crunch that is extremely frustrating, man. Look how much it bends forward. Ugh, that's it. That's all we got on the forward crunch. That is such a bummer, man. Damn it. But it does move back pretty far, so you can still get him into some decent poses, I guess, like in the air and flipping like that. If you want to do something, that could work, but it doesn't really crunch forward. That's a letdown. Also, with these hip joints, I am not a fan of these hip joints. You can move them outward, and then you can rotate them forward that much, but then the legs kick outward. There's no other rotation on the leg whatsoever to get that foot pointing forward, so he's just stuck like this if you want him to kick forward. He does have double jointed knees that bend in pretty damn far, I like that, and his ankles move down and up and no ankle pivot. And I didn't notice this earlier, but I really dislike the sculpting of this foot right here. That is just too large, it looks weird. So this figure stands just over 7 inches tall. So here's a Marvel Select Superior Spider-Man compared to the Superior Spider-Man from Marvel Legends. A much better figure, more modern look of Superior Spider-Man. Of course, you can see the differences between the costumes over here. When I reviewed this guy, I got a lot of comments saying that, oh, I wish he came with the gauntlets and he came with the backpack. For this version, I really wish it did too. Wish I had mentioned that in the video. And here's Superior Spider-Man compared to our regular Spider-Man from Marvel Select from quite a few years back. And even though I do have a lot of gripes with this guy, a big improvement compared to this one over here. A lot more articulation, and I just do like the sculpt a lot more on this one. And of course, here he is next to the big time letdown Spider-Man. So what can I say about this figure? I really like the base a lot more than the figure itself. I can't say I'm very pleased with it. There are things I do like about the sculpt, but overall, it's just not the superior figure, and I think it's an easy pass, even though the base is pretty cool. Yeah, I give credit to the base. Anyway, hope you guys liked my review. If you did, hit the like button, leave a comment, and please subscribe. And don't forget, check out my photo gallery at marvelousnews.com. I will catch you later. Peace.
That's crispy.
Oh, Django!